Hello and welcome to your Saturday morning chatty scent corner, where we talk about what's new, what's coming, and what we really need to have a good chat about. So today, as always, I have so many updates for you, but I did limit it to 10 because it's Saturday and we just want to get out there and have a good time. Now, since I was not here last week because I took a couple of days off. I just needed some rest. So we did not have a chatty scent corner, so I'm a little bit behind. But today we are going to kind of catch up. I did select the fragrances that I'm going to give you updates on. I think are all fragrances that you will be, for the most part, interested in. They're very interesting releases as always. And I do have a first impression for you. You may recall that I did tell you that I would not have another first impression until after my birthday, but my birthday is at the end of October. I had to make an exception for this fragrance because the brand so kindly sent me a 10 ml way in advance of the launch date, which is November 1st. And I do want to give you all of the details. And also, I have a discount code in case you want to take advantage of the pre-order stage of the fragrance. But anyway, in addition to that, of course, we are going to have our sniff and sip section. I have 4 fragrances to share there with you. So let's go ahead and jump right in because we have quite a bit to cover. But if this is your first time here, I'm Arahi, and I'm your fragrance concierge because I'm totally committed to creating the best fragrance experience for you. I upload videos multiple times a week, and on this channel, we love to talk about all types of fragrances. So if that sounds like the type of content that you're interested in, and like a good plan, then please consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget, leave a comment. Let's go, fam. All right, so as always, we are going to go ahead and start with our tea and or topic of the week. This week, I really don't have tea to share with you, but I did want to tell you a little story in case you're wondering about what happened to me this past week. So I got up as always super early in the morning, 5 a.m. in the morning, and as always, I came downstairs to make my coffee. I made my coffee, but I think I made it a bit too hot, and I'm just used to one specific setting, and I guess I must have not pressed the right button, so the coffee was extra hot. I love it super hot, but this time it was like more than hot. And of course, when I took my first sip, it completely burned my tongue. So there's like a little white spot on my tongue right now, and it's because it's in the healing process. Thank goodness it doesn't hurt anymore, but I just wanted to let you know in case you're wondering, did she get something on her tongue or something? That is what happened. I got a very bad burn, but I'm feeling much better now. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into our discussion of the week. So this week, okay, I was at Sephora yet again, okay, minding my business like I always tell you, just roaming around that fragrance hallway that is so dangerous for us fragrance lovers, right? And I went to pick up one fragrance, and I'm not even going to tell you what it is because I want to surprise you when I do an epic haul that I'm going to do at the end of the month because I'm celebrating my birthday, and there's other things that I always get sent and stuff like that. So I am going to do a haul at the end of this month, right? But I went to pick up this one fragrance, and because I was minding my business, sniffing around down that hallway, I ended up picking 4 fragrances. 4 fragrances. Not good whatsoever, but I just couldn't put them down. I sniffed them, and I am telling you, they were like, Arahi, take me home. Arahi, take me home. And I just could not resist. I couldn't leave them there, so I brought them home with me. But anyway, does that ever happen to you? That is our topic for this week. I want to know, am I the only one that has those moments of weakness? I mean, I think I have pretty good self-control in other areas of my life, but when it comes to fragrances, once I sniff a fragrance and I am in love with it, I just can't put it down. Obviously, if I can't afford it, I can't get it. But, even if I kind of can afford it, I make an extra effort and I take it with me. So let me know, does that happen to you? Do you ever, for example, right, you find yourself going to a store to pick up a very specific fragrance, right? And you tell yourself, I'm going to walk in the store. I know exactly where it's at. I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to go straight to the register and out the door. But then that doesn't happen when you're there. Does that ever happen to you? Has that ever happened to you? And can you please share with what fragrances? Because of course we're a little bit nosy too. And then if that has not happened to you, have you ever placed an order for a fragrance and they send it to you, but they send it to you with like 4 other different samples, and then you end up wanting to order at least one of the fragrances that they sent you in the samples? Actually, you end up liking the fragrance in the sample more than the fragrance that you ordered. And then you're like, okay, what do I do now? Because I really want this fragrance. Does that ever happen to you? Because that is the type of stuff that happens to me here behind the scenes that you don't get to see. It's like an everyday dilemma with me. There's always something going on around my fragrance orders or my fragrance purchases. But anyway, let us know. Please let us know if that has ever happened to you, any of those 2 situations or both, and with what fragrances. So let's go ahead and get started with the updates. All right, so the first update that I have for you this week is Day 3 fragrances. They have a new fragrance being launched November 1st, and they so kindly sent me this. I think, this is a 10 ml, and they sent it to me. And let me just show you, like, there's already a little dent because I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to spoil it for you. I absolutely love this fragrance, but I'm going to tell you more about it. So because this is the only one that I'm doing a first impression on today, I'm going to share with you the information. Then I'm going to give you my first impression of the fragrance, and I'll give you all the details around when it's going to be launched and the discounts and stuff like that that are going on. So the name of this new fragrance is Midnight Raspberry. And they have already launched 3 other perfumes this year, right? We had Tesoros, Desert Rain, and I can't remember. Oh, the name of the other one is Royal Reflection. I don't own that one. Does anybody have Royal Reflection? And if you do, can you let us know how you feel about it in the comment section? But you guys know that I love, love, love Tesoros. And I absolutely love Desert Rain. I love every single fragrance that I have from Day 3. But my biggest love continues to be Elan. That vanilla fragrance is everything. Well, now they have Midnight Raspberry. And I did leave you a community post where I gave you all the information about this fragrance because it has been on pre-order since yesterday, Friday. And I do have a discount code that you can use when placing your pre-order. And of course, that will help you quite a bit. And there are different prices depending on when you buy the fragrance. So let me just go ahead and give you the notes though. So at the top, we have coriander, Brazilian pink pepper. At the heart, we have raspberry, agarwood, and patchouli. And at the base, we have saffron, a musk accord, and ambergris. And I am over here reaching for my test strip so that I can spray it and tell you what I am getting with this fragrance. So, I am loving this fragrance. This is such an exquisitely done raspberry. I'm not going to walk you through the entire olfactory journey because I am saving that. I am saving that for a detailed review, but I am going to tell you that this is incredible. This is a very, very juicy, ripe, sweet raspberry note in the opening, and it'll continue with you all throughout the olfactory journey and at the dry down. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil the review, but I'm telling you that my first impression was, wow, this is a serious, true, realistic raspberry note. Very, very nicely done. Very, very nicely done. The fragrance is sweet, but it is not very sweet. It does have some spiciness to it. I do pick up on the pink pepper, but I also think there's some black pepper. I don't recall if they did disclose that or not, but it is an exquisitely beautiful fragrance, guys. All right, so next we have 2 fragrances from D'Orsay. And you guys know that I just started my journey with D'Orsay this year. And now, my obsession is Flower Lust. I can't speak highly enough of that fragrance. I've already reviewed it here for you on the channel. I am obsessed still to this day with that fragrance. It wasn't one of my obsession videos, but wow. So now they have two new fragrances. One is called Rose Blaze, and guess who the perfumer behind it is? Jordi Fernandez, okay? So Rose Blaze, and he had also done for them, if I recall correctly, he had also done for them Tonka Hysteria, which is also a top seller, incredible fragrance also. So now he's going to do this Rose Blaze fragrance, and let me tell you the notes. So the notes are simply rose, iris, and tonka. Now that right there sold me immediately on that fragrance. As a matter of fact, I can tell you that you can expect to see me review both of these fragrances because I am going to be picking them up. I am so excited. First of all, you guys know that I have been like really loving Jordi Fernandez fragrances. I'm like picking up almost everything he puts out because I'm just loving how he's doing his fragrances. Dominique Ropion is still my favorite, but Jordi is coming right up there. I mean, and there are others that you guys know that I love, but Jordi is really doing such an incredible job in my opinion. So that is definitely a fragrance that I'm going to pick up. That's Rose Blaze. And then they also have Holy Berry. And this is supposed to be a fruity, woody fragrance. And at the top, it has strawberry milk and cardamom. At the heart, it has iris and jasmine. And at the base, it has oud, vanilla, and sandalwood. They are both available right now, and I will leave a link. And I'm pretty sure I also have a discount code to where you can pick them up. But I will leave them in the description box for you in case you're interested. But I am telling you that I will be definitely picking up those fragrances in case you want to wait for my review before you pick them up. Whichever way, but I just know that I'm so excited. Those notes are really exciting me, but it's the quality of the fragrances from D'Orsay. All right, so next I have for you Christian Provenzano. He is adding actually 3 new fragrances to his collection. One is one that had already been in place, so I'm not going to talk about that one because it is a fragrance that already exists, just in a different type of bottle. So he's upgrading it to his new bottles. But these new bottles are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So this first one is called, and it's very interesting, listen to this. So this one is called Guanabana. Now, if you are Hispanic, you know, I'm sure you've heard of the fruit of guanabana. This is a fruit that in English, I think is called soursop. I think it is soursop. So I don't know about you guys, but we do like juices, like shakes using it. It has like some like black seeds, and it has a very thick white pulp, and it is absolutely delicious. I love it. I don't have to make any type of smoothie with it. I can have it on its own. I really, really do enjoy it. So let me go ahead and share with you the notes of this fragrance, and please be patient because there's quite the collection of them. So at the top we have grapefruit, pineapple, raspberry, cardamom, saffron, ginger, peach, and soursop. At the mid or in the heart we have taif, rose, geranium, pepper, and mate. And at the base we have Cambodian oud, patchouli, labdanum, vanilla, incense, amber, suede, and sandalwood. Now, I love Christian Provenzano fragrances, period, right? And I do own 3 from his own line, and then I own so many that he has developed for other fragrance houses. But these 2 that I'm going to share with you today, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to end up picking them up because they really, really interest me based on the notes. Like, I know that I don't have any other fragrance in my collection with the note of soursop or guanabana. So I am very interested in just the name alone really pulls me. But when I saw all these notes, like it is a spicy, fruity, floral, woody, smoky. I mean, there's all types of notes here. So I'm very, very interested. Now, the note of soursop or guanabana is supposed to come across in a perfume almost like the note of pineapple and or green banana. So it's supposed to give you like a scent that is reminiscent of like the green peel of a banana and or a pineapple that is not very sweet. So let's see what we get. I'm very excited. I'm very curious. To be honest with you, if I can find a sample or a decant first, I will do that for both of these fragrances. But if I can't, I know I'm just going to pick them up because I have a feeling they're going to be really, really good. Then the other fragrance that he's launching is called Sirocco. And this one has as top notes juniper berries, bergamot, cinnamon, mandarin, and ginger. At the heart, it has rose de may, osmanthus, neroli, and tea. You heard that, tea. And you know I'm in my tea and fig era, right? So we have tea, that is a must. And then at the base, it has incense, amber, and musk. So very, very interesting. You know, that sounds like a fragrance that's going to be pretty much about that tea note with some accents of different accords from different notes. I'm loving that there's ginger and that there's cinnamon in the mix, because I find that when it's a tea fragrance and those two notes are present, I tend to just absolutely love it. And then it's going to be an ambery fragrance because it has at the base amber and of course musk based. And I love the way that Christian Provenzano does musk. So yeah, I think I'm good. I'm really, really excited about these two releases. Had you heard about them? Are you interested at all? Do you own any of the Christian Provenzano fragrances? If so, which one is your favorite? Like, what is it that you like about the way he does fragrances? And even if you don't own any of the fragrances from his fragrance house per se, do you own any fragrance where he is the perfumer behind it for like another fragrance house or anything like that? But personally, you can expect to hear more about these two because I'm either going to pick up a sample, a decant, and if I can't get those, I'll probably just gonna blind buy it because I'm very, very interested in those two. All right, moving on. All right, so next we have a couple of new launches coming out of the house of Xerjoff. And Xerjoff this year, if I recall correctly, they've only launched two fragrances. One was Coral, which I decided not to pick up because it was giving me like Herba Pura vibes. And I have enough. I have Herba Pura and I also have Herba Pura Gold. I have enough of those very, very fruity fragrances from Xerjoff. And Coral was kind of, I may be totally wrong, okay, because I never even had a sample or a decant. But just the notes alone did not really like excite me. So I decided to just not pick it up. But if I ever have the opportunity to pick up a sample, a decant, or pick it up at a good discount price, I may, you know, pick it up and see how I feel about it and then add it to my collection. But right now, okay, so they are launching Louis 15, 1722, but this time the Rosé. You may recall that maybe about a year ago, was it a year ago or was it at the beginning of this year? During a Chatty Scent Corner, I shared with you that Xerjoff was having a collaboration with a champagne house by the name, if I recall correctly, I think it's Vinoge. And, you know, they were launching a fragrance by the name of Louis 15, 1722. Now, this one is a flanker to that fragrance that I don't even think was launched a year ago. But it's a flanker because this time it's about the rosé version of the champagne, which really excites me. So listen to these notes. At the top, we have blackcurrant, raspberry, and pear. At the heart, we have geranium, damask rose, plum, and cedarwood. And at the base, we have vanilla, amorous, and musk, okay? So those are the notes. And you know, the fact that there is raspberry in the opening with blackcurrant, I tend to like that type of opening. I've seen that in other fragrances. I'm sure you have too. But then the note of plum thrown into that mix and then some vanilla. I don't know. It just sounds like it's going to be a very, very nice fragrance with that champagne, that rosé kind. Maybe there's some fizziness to it. Maybe there's an accord or a tonality that gives the scent that fizziness that we kind of love when you find champagne in any fragrance. But they have not disclosed the note of champagne, but we know they don't disclose all the notes. So let's see what we get out of that. To be honest with you, if I find a sample or a decant, I will definitely do that before blind buying this one because I don't want to pick it up and then feel like I have something like that or that it doesn't excite me as much. And it is a little bit pricey unless I wait for a discounter. But it really is exciting me to a certain extent. Yeah, I'm just very, very curious. And that bottle is just beautiful. All right, so the second one that they're adding is called Xerjoff P13. And this P13 is supposed to be in addition to the sketchbook collection. There are two fragrances that are being launched as additions to the sketchbook collection, and I'll make sure to show you a picture of both, but they have only launched or are getting ready to launch any day now. The first one, which is that P13 fragrance. So this one is the one that's being launched first. The other one has not launched yet. And here we have at the top violet, bergamot, and Turkish rose. At the heart we have jasmine, tuberose, orange blossom, and cloves. And at the base we have tobacco, oak moss, vanilla, and Peru balsam. So that is a fragrance. First of all, you know how I am about violet. I'm loving that in the mid you do have some spicy notes. I am loving that they have tobacco. Of course, vanilla is in the midst, and then you have some white florals. Very, very interesting. But if I'm honest with you, what has me really, really excited is the bottle. I mean, did you see that bottle? That bottle is absolutely gorgeous. That is what has me really excited, because while those notes, you know, most likely will give us a scent that we love, I do have those notes in other fragrances. They don't disclose all the notes. So, you know, I will try to get myself a sample or a decant, because that is going to be a very expensive fragrance. Because if I recall correctly, there's only like 200 or 250 bottles. So even if I have the opportunity to get my hands on it, it's probably going to be very, very expensive. So, but let's see, more to come on, you know, those two launches. If I can get samples or decants to give you a first impression here during a Chatty Scent Corner, I will definitely do that. So another brand that has been tremendously busy this year, it just seems like every time I do a Chatty Scent Corner, I have either one or multiple new releases coming out of Born to Stand Out. They have been so busy, but this one sounds really interesting. And I know that many fan members absolutely love these notes, so please pay attention. So this one is called Choco Loco. And here are the notes, because this is the interesting part. At the top, it has cocoa powder, cocoa butter, and cocoa liqueur. At the heart, it has cacao, condensed milk, caramel fudge, burnt sugar, ginger liqueur, and whipped cream. And then at the base, it has cookie dough, vanilla, brown sugar, marshmallow, ambrette, and musk. So those notes alone, let me tell you, most likely that's going to be a blind buy. And you know, to date, I still don't own, well, I do now, because I had like 4 of their fragrances sent to me. I just haven't had a chance to even really like unwrap them and start to work with them in preparation to just discuss them with you. I'm probably going to do a focused video where I talk only about Born to Stand Out, now that I have those 4. And this one is the first one that I'm going to pick up from them truly. And I am going to do a blind buy. I'm so excited about that fragrance. If I find it, I will leave a link for you in the description box. But I am telling you, you can expect to see a review on this one. And then let me tell you, so this is what the brand has to say about the fragrance. A rich, sensual chocolate experience designed for true gourmand lovers. Now, you know that I don't like to smell like food, but I do appreciate a real good gourmand. But this one, oh no, I must have this one, because this just sounds like it's going to be so incredibly good. I don't know if it's going to make us smell like food. I think it will, but with all those notes, at least it's going to be very, very yummy, and I am certainly looking forward to it. Anyway, had you heard of this one? Are you interested in it? Do those notes pull you and like pique your interest? Like, what are you thinking? Do you own any of the Born to Stand Out fragrances? If so, which ones, and what do you love about them? Anyway, moving on. All right, so next I have for you a new fragrance from Xerjoff. Now, if you watch all my videos, I'm sure that you've realized that I am loving Xerjoff. So Xerjoff is a brand that I really introduced to my collection this year. At this point, I own like 4 of their fragrances. I am obsessed. I mean, when I tell you obsessed with Everlit and Red Redemption, I have filmed like, I don't know how many shorts around Everlit, because wow. So Everlit is a 2025 launch, but now they're launching yet another one. And I am so excited about this one. I can't even, right? Because there's 2 reasons, and you'll understand as soon as I share all the details. So this one is called Oud Whisper. The perfumer behind it is Jordi Fernandez. Here we go, right? And within the top notes, guess what we have? Guava. You guys know how I love a note of guava. So this is a must for me. And thankfully enough, so kindly, they are sending it to me in PR at some point. I don't know when I'll have it, but just expect to see it here. Expect to see a first impression and then a detailed review. I am so excited about this fragrance because listen to these notes. So at the top we have guava, black pomegranate, and red chili pepper. At the heart, we have orange blossom, incense, and sandalwood. And at the base, we have leather, oud, and tonka bean. Now tell me that doesn't sound absolutely exquisite. No, I don't think it's going to be gourmandish in any way. I just think that it's going to be a beautifully done scent. I don't know, something just tells me that it's going to be so, so, so incredible. And the thing about Ojar fragrances is that they are all powerhouses. There's not one that's not a powerhouse on my skin and on paper. I just love them, but I love, 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 love the DNA of that fragrance house. So expect to see that one here very, very soon. As soon as I receive it, I'll be doing a quick first impression during a Chatty Scent Corner. All right, so now Bond number 9. Here we have 2 new launches. And didn't we just finish like with New York Chic? Because that was like maybe a month ago. But anyway, I'm not complaining because you know how I love Bond number 9. But let me tell you, so they have 2 new fragrances and these 2 are focused on the note of oud. So the first one is called Good Oud, and Good Oud has at the top, get ready because there's a ton of notes here, magnolia, osmanthus, cinnamon, sumac, bark, and cumin. At the heart, it has pomegranate, Peru balsam, myrrh, resin, and clara sage. And at the base, it has wild berries, labdanum, vanilla bean, resin, oud, and patchouli. Wow, that's a lot of notes. But you know, this is not a fragrance to blind buy whatsoever. None of these 2, because number 1, there's so many notes and it's quite complex. But number 2, I did notice that the price is not 400 and something anymore. It's like $600. And I really believe that it's because of the oud, because of the note of oud. God only knows, you know, because Bond number 9 only does the very best quality ingredients. So maybe it's the oud that made it this expensive, the level of oud, the quality of the oud. That's just me guessing. I don't have any intel around that, but it is quite pricey. So of course, we are going to have to get ourselves samples and decants to not just sniff it in store, but like try it on skin and make sure that this is a fragrance that's going to work for you. So that's Good Oud. But then we have another one called Oud Supreme. Now, Oud Supreme is the one that interests me the most between both of them because listen to these notes. At the top, pink pepper, cassis, and lemon. At the heart, Turkish rose, geranium, and carrot. And at the base, oud, patchouli, benzoin, and resin. There was just something about those notes that really piqued my interest. But regardless, because of the price point, I'm still going to pick up a sample and or a decant and try it on skin a couple of times before deciding which one, if any, I really want to add to my collection. But most likely you are going to hear me talk about them at a certain point, so just be ready for that. All right, so now from the house of Sospiro, they have also been very busy because earlier this year I hauled like Cavatina, which I just shared with you in a video. I am just obsessed with that fragrance. Cavatina, there was Farsa, there was Ira. They were all part of that extrait, the small black bottle collection. Absolutely love Sospiro, as you guys know. So now they're launching 2 new fragrances. One comes in a gorgeous pink bottle. I'm going to try really hard to not blind buy that one until I really try it on skin, but the bottle, and I'm going to show you the bottle. Oh, wow. So, but these 2 new fragrances, before I give you the notes and everything, one, by the way, is supposed to be the continuum of Vibrato and Basso. That's Mezzo, if I recall correctly. But Vibrana comes in a beautiful pink bottle, but both of these fragrances are going to come in like miniature sizes, like following that trend that we're seeing where now we're picking up smaller bottles because, of course, with all these launches, why would you pick up an 100 ml continuously, right? So I think that they're now going to come in smaller bottles because these are definitely being launched in miniature sizes. And I will, of course, show you a picture where you can see both. But let me tell you. So the first one, Vibrana, has as top notes bergamot and orris. At the mid, it has nutmeg, moss, and muguet. And at the base, it has amber, musk, and patchouli. Those notes really, really, like, they're really not piquing my interest. What's really, really interesting me is that bottle. So I may definitely have to like really look into getting myself a sample or a decant, because I'm telling you, those notes are not doing it for me. You guys know that I love orris. There's just something about the whole note structure that is not doing it. But the bottle is so beautiful. I really, really want that bottle, but I'm not going to pick up this fragrance just because of the bottle. So anyway, just expect to hear me talk about it at a certain point. Then Mezzo has as top notes mandarin, lavender, juniper, and bergamot. At the heart, it has ginger, magnolia, apple, and vetiver. And at the base, it has patchouli, moss, musk, and tonka. Now, those notes excite me. Those notes excite me so much that I can almost tell you that I may end up picking up that fragrance. I may end up blind buying that one because I have a feeling that's going to be exceptional. And if it's following in the footsteps of, you know, vibrato and basso, oh my goodness, what could we expect, right? So I don't know, you know, if I can get a sample and or a decant before really quick, I may do that. But knowing me, I'll probably just end up picking up that one because those notes, oh, those notes are really, really pulling me. And by the way, I think that that's a fragrance that's going to be, I may be totally wrong, but that may be a fragrance just like vibrato and basso. That may be a fragrance that is really, really unisex, really, really unisex. So yeah, but expect to hear more about those two. Moving on. All right, so today we're going to be working, of course, on our sniff and sip, right? And I'm going to go ahead and share with you today 4 fragrances. Now, 3 of these fragrances I must have sniffed at some point, but for some reason I didn't make notes about my findings. I didn't pick them up. I didn't dismiss them because I have a list where I keep all of the fragrances that have not worked for me and that I am just not interested in whatsoever. But these 4, for some reason, I have the feeling that I did like them. I just never had the time to circle back and properly test them on skin. So I'm going to start today by doing a sniff and sip with you of each fragrance. I'm going to share the notes and then I'll tell you what I think about them and if I may end up picking up a bottle or picking up a large decant so that I can really try it on skin several times, or if it's a complete, oh no, not for me, okay? So for those of you who have not been a part of this before, this is a section where we sniff and we sip. So today I just have water here because I really need to hydrate, okay? So let's go ahead and start. The first one that I have is one that I have been so interested in because I am loving this fragrance house. This is Pantheon Roma, and the one that I'm talking about today is Pantheon R. I have A and I've shared it with you. Oh, Obsession, that's the one with that champagne note and everything. And then there's O, absolutely love it. So anyways, let me scoot over so I can share with you the bottle as we talk about these fragrances. Okay, so let me tell you the notes of this one. Yeah, okay, so at the top we have cinnamon, strawberry, rhubarb, and thyme. At the heart we have saffron, iris, and jasmine. And at the base, we have incense, leather, myrrh, balsam, vanilla, tolu balsam, oud, sandalwood, labdanum, ambergris, and musk. Wow, we have a lot of notes here. So let me tell you that for me, this opens up not very sweet, definitely spicy, very present cinnamon, quite a number of fruitiness here. Like I'm picking up on fruit notes. I'm picking up on strawberry. It's not very sweet because the fragrance is not sweet to me. It's not even sweet, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I am picking up on the oud, and I'm not even midway in the olfactory journey. Yeah, I'm picking up on that oud. It's not barnyardish. It's not strong right now, but it just opened, but I did pick up on the oud. This scent in the opening for me was nice, but I don't think that this is a love, because the other two, A and O, as soon as I sniffed them, they were an immediate deep love. I have a feeling that this is one of those fragrances that I'm going to have to get myself a good decant of and try it on skin and try and understand the fragrance before I make a decision on if this is one that I want to pick up or not. So let me put it to the side so that it can reach the dry down as we continue to spray the others. All right, so the next one that I want to discuss with you today. So today we talked about Xerjoff's Louis the 15th, the rosé version, right? 1722. Well, because I've been looking into that fragrance, it made me pull this sample that I had from Xerjoff. They sent me this when they launched the original Louis the 15th, 1722, that collaboration with Vinoge. So I've had it here for a while and I've never picked up that fragrance. I haven't really worked on if I like the fragrance or not. So I'm pretty sure that I sprayed this at some point because it has a tiny little dent, but we're going to go ahead and spray it today and see how I feel about the original. And then that'll tell me if I even want to try the rosé one. But yeah. Oh, nothing like water, is there? I just love water. But anyway, okay, but I love a glass of wine even more. But anyway, let's go ahead and spray. Oh, I just really don't like these little things. Ooh. Oh. Oh, wow. Okay, let me tell you the notes of this one. Oof. Okay, at the top, grapefruit, champagne, plum, and saffron. At the heart, lavender, hazelnut, coffee, rose, and cocoa. And at the base, sandalwood, white musk, cashmere, and incense, and leather. I am loving this fragrance. But something tells me that I need to try this on skin, to not just pick it up. I think that I can find it at a discounter at this point, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get myself a proper decant and I'm going to try it on skin because while I am loving it, this is a type of fragrance that is very much unisex and it may pull masculine on your skin. I'm not saying that that's going to be the case, but I'm saying that this type of scent, I've come to understand that many times will end up pulling masculine on your skin. And let me tell you, there's several notes here that are very famous for doing that. That lavender mixed with leather, with cashmere, ooh, hazelnut, coffee, cocoa. Yeah, those are pretty nice notes, but yeah, it could easily pull masculine on your skin, and I'm not trying to do masculine. Let me put it to the side and see at the dry down what we get on paper. Yeah. Anyway, have you tried Louis the 15 from Xerjoff? Did you like it? Does it pull masculine on you? Does it pull feminine? Like, what do you think about it? What is your opinion on that one? Anyway, moving on. All right, so the next fragrance that we're going to talk about is from Marc-Antoine Barrois, which is a fragrance house that I really have enjoyed. I own several of their fragrances. Tilia is my favorite, but I absolutely love Ganymede. Aldebaran, you know I own it, but to this day, I'm trying to work around that fragrance because I'm not sure that that's going to work out for me ever, but I'm going to continue to try it. But today, I wanted to take again a look at Ganymede the Extrait because I know that I tried this fragrance on skin. See, there's like a little tiny dent, but this is not enough for me to decide if I want to pick up a full bottle or not. But I just want to decide today if this is one that I even want to get myself a decant of, because when it comes to Marc-Antoine Barrois fragrances, you know, and all of the fragrances from Marc-Antoine Barrois, the perfumer behind them is Quentin Bisch, by the way, in case you didn't know. And while I love several of their fragrances and I enjoy them, there's a couple that haven't worked for me at all. And these are fragrances that are quite complex. They're very elegant. They're very sophisticated. To me, they're purely unisex. I mean, they're unisex. If anything, sometimes I feel that they may lean a little bit to the masculine side, but I don't mind that. I really do enjoy them. The question is, how is the scent going to pull on your skin? So to me, these are not safe blind buys. To me, you really need to get yourself, forget the sample, get yourself a decant before you make a decision. So let's go ahead and try Ganymede the X-Ray. And okay, so at the top, this one has incense, myrrh, and mandarin orange. At the heart, it has immortelle. And at the base, it has akigala wood and safraline, okay? So this is giving me Ganymede, but it's giving me Ganymede like with a certain degree of fruitiness to it. That is all that I'm getting right now, but I'm still in the opening. But this is giving me Ganymede, so I'm not sure that I'm gonna think that I need to get the X-Ray. But I can guarantee you that the key here will be trying this one on skin while trying Ganymede on skin. Not trying it because I own Ganymede and I love it, but applying that one on skin and then this one on the other to establish what are the differences. Are they negligible or are they considerable, right? So yeah, but this is the type of fragrance that I'm definitely going to have to try on skin. Yeah, this is one that I just don't think that any of the Marc Antoine Barrois fragrances are fragrances that you should be trying on paper. You can sniff them originally on paper, but you really, in my opinion, you may want to try them on skin to really understand what they're going to do. They are incredible olfactory journey fragrances. They will just transport you to another world. They are truly exceptional. But to me, they're not safe blind buys. So for me, yeah, I am going to get myself a decant of this one because I love Ganymede. So I just need to understand, what does the X-Ray bring to the table that I don't get from the original? I mean, really. Yeah, moving on. So the next and last fragrance that I have for you today is from d'Orsay. You guys know that I've been doing a deep dive on d'Orsay as the fragrance house in the past, like this year, I started that deep dive and I've been trying different fragrances. Flower Lust, as I said before, is definitely an obsession of mine. That really got me into the house. And these two new fragrances that I shared with you earlier, the ones that were just launched, those are musts for me. But now let's go ahead and try. This one is called Nous Sommes Amants, MD, okay? So let's see. Oh, wow. Oof. Okay, this is a green quality fragrance for sure. But let me tell you the notes. So in the at the top we have juniper berries, bamboo, pink pepper, and black pepper. It opens green, guys. It opens green. And it's giving me spicy. And at that, I'm getting fresh spicy. It's not a freshie, I'm just saying that it's fresh, spicy, with a green quality to it. At the heart, it has Palo Santo. And at the base, it has sandalwood, Virginia cedar, musk, ambergris, cypriol, and leather. This is a unisex fragrance all the way. Yeah, from the opening, this is going to be unisex. Oof. That woodiness is now coming in. Yeah, let me put it to the side for a little bit so that I can tell you what I'm getting on paper and what my decision is on that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's circle back. Okay, so Pantheon Roma Art on paper is not working for me. No. The oud here is coming across as a little bit too much. Not that it's too intense. I love the note of oud, but there is something about the oud here. It's not full on barnyardish, but this is a fragrance that I'm going to try and get myself a decant of or try it on skin. But with this little thing, that's not going to do it for me to make a decision. Yeah, I'm definitely going to try it on skin and I will circle back with you because on paper, it's a no for me. It's not a complete dislike. There's just something about it that's not sitting well with me. So when I get that, I know that I have to try it on skin. So I am going to try that one on skin. So next, let's circle back to Xerjoff Louis XV 1722. Now this fragrance is reminding me of something. Have any of you tried any of these fragrances? Can you please let us know what you think? Because I'm wondering if it's just me here in my cave, like totally losing it. But this Xerjoff, you know what? It's giving me a little bit of Kajal vibes. Like, you know how Kajal does the note of pineapple? I don't know, but this is definitely, to me, leaning a bit to the masculine side. On paper, I'm going to try it on skin, but on paper it's definitely leaning now. And this is the dry down. Anyway, okay. And then last but not least, let's serve Marc-Antoine Barrault. I already told you, I really feel like I need to try that one on skin for sure. I just know that when it comes to that house, I have to try it on skin, because on skin will be a totally different story. So, okay, this one from D'Orsay. I don't think this is going to be for me either. This is very spicy and not necessarily how I like it, but I am going to try it on skin though. I did like the opening. It wasn't like a deep love, but I did like the opening. The opening that I really loved, by the way, was that Xerjoff fragrance, but now the dry down is giving me like, no, but that's on paper. So I'm just going to have to try these on skin. This one, I don't know if this is going to work for me. I don't know. Anyway, let us know. Have you tried any of those fragrances? How do you feel about them? I don't even know what to think about them right now. All right, so we've reached the end of today's Chatty Scent Corner, and I hope that this was enjoyable for you. As I tell you every week, I want you to have not just an incredibly awesome Saturday, but I want you to have a joyous and highly blessed entire weekend. Sending you much love. As always, thank you so much for hanging with me today, and I will see you all in the next video.